Oh, welcome back. Well, supermarket shelves are now filled with so-called healthy drink options such as kombucha and coconut water. But do their health claims actually stack up? Today, nutritionist Dr. Joanna McMillan is here to break it down. Jo, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Everyone's talking kombucha. Is that how you pronounce it?
Kombucha.
Kombucha.
Yes. And there's a new one to watch out for, kvass, which is also a very similar kind of fermented drink. So look, this is a fermented tea. What I'll start with is saying it's actually not a probiotic. Lots of them have said on the front that it's a probiotic, which means that there's live good bacteria in there. And actually, you know, we sent some of these to the lab last year and tested them, and they had fewer live bacteria, the two brands that we looked at, than Sydney tap water.
You're joking.
So
just say that again.
They're not. So they don't contain live bacteria. If you've ever tried making kombucha at home, which I've done, you can see the bacteria actually all around what's called the SCOBY, which is looks like a little disc of material.
Sounds delicious.
Like a jellyfish.
That's where the bugs are. So when you filter off the fluid, it doesn't actually surprise me that there's not live bacteria. But that doesn't mean there still might be some benefit for gut health here, because the little acids that are produced by the bugs, just the same in your gut, it's what the bugs produce that's really beneficial around the bugs themselves. So it might be good.
But here's the thing. Everyone thinks this stuff is the best thing for you since sliced bread. We all know how good sliced bread is for you. This is the problem with the kombucha, is that people go, all right, I'm going to go get that because it's got to be good for my gut, when it could be absolutely doing nothing.
And you could be drinking Sydney tap water.
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem actually is people who then say, instead of just having a glass, if you have this instead of soft drinks or fruit juice, or instead of a beer, brilliant. Do look at the back, make sure that you're getting one that's not too high in sugar, because some of them still have quite a lot of sugar. Some of them are still giving quite a lot of energy, and just have a glass. You don't need to be drinking litres of it.
Coconut water?
Coconut water. So coconut water, look, it is natural. It's just the fluid from the middle of green coconuts. If you've ever actually, you know, when I trekked the Kokoda track, they hacked off the top of a coconut. Tastes amazing in that situation when you need it. So look, I don't mind coconut water. It's a natural product, but again, remember, it does have a little bit of sugar and it does have some energy, so you don't need to be drinking loads of it.
But is it more hydrating than water, which is how it's pitched?
It's actually not. It's not. When we look at, we'll talk about sports drinks, but it's actually sodium that we mostly lose in our sweat. So, and this is quite low in sodium. It's got lots of potassium, but potassium is good for us in terms of controlling blood pressure and so on. But it's, you know, it sort of pitches itself as being a natural hydrator, and really, most of us just need water to hydrate.
Sugars too, to be careful of there.
Yeah, and the sugars are much lower than fruit juices and soft drinks, so it's certainly a much better option.
OK, let's go on to protein water.
This is a really interesting product. Look, most of us, again, get plenty of protein. We don't need to, but if you're going to the gym, say, Carl, and you're wanting to build some muscle, or you've been quite sick and you're finding it difficult to eat, or the elderly who need a bit more protein, but you don't want a milky drink, this is where I think this is quite an inventive product. So it's got whey protein in there, which comes from milk. Whey's very fast absorbed protein, and you can get, between the different products, have between 20 and 30 grams of protein in a drink without any carbs. You don't have any sugar, and it's not milky.
What does it taste like?
I don't know.
Well, it's got a berry flavour, so it's berry
Have a
flavoured.
go.
Have a
Slightly
go. Do you want
fruity.
berry? There's
Slightly
berry.
fruity, and some of them are completely clear waters.
On occasion, I've got a vitamin water.
Vitamin waters I'm not a fan of. Look, if you're going to take a vitamin supplement, you're much better off taking an actual supplement. You know the dose, you know exactly what's in it. You don't need to get vitamins in your water.
No, I don't want your lurgy.
Sorry, go on, Jo. Go on.
So I don't think you need a vitamin water, really. Get your vitamins from foods and the whole foods that you're eating.
Yeah.
You shouldn't need to get them in your water. Hydrate just with water.
And tell me about pregnancy water. Is that a thing?
This is a new one.
Not the waters when we're pregnant.
Oh, that's
It's not disgusting.
much.
This is
disgusting.
Yeah, let's not go there. But you do have extra hydration needs. This was developed by an obstetrician.
Stop me.
Developed by an obstetrician for women while they're pregnant and breastfeeding, because he noticed a lot of his clients, his patients, were low on water. They're not getting enough. You do have increased requirements, especially when you're breastfeeding. So the idea is you get some electrolytes. He's popped a bit of folate in there to make sure they're meeting their folate.
What a con.
Again.
What a con. Don't get sucked
But if
in.
you're pregnant, whatever makes you feel better.
Well, that's true.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're breastfeeding.
That's right.
Yeah.
What about green juices?
Watch out for these, because what I've noticed is a lot of green juice, if I make my green juice at home, veggies are the main part, and I put in an apple or some pineapple to give it a nice taste and to add that extra depth of flavour and sweetness. A lot of these say they're green juice, but then the first ingredient is the fruit. So a lot of them are mostly fruit juices. So my advice is, one, go for a smoothie rather than a juice, so that you're getting all the pulp, all the fibres in there as well. And secondly, make sure you get one that is, read the ingredients list. The veggies should be first up with a little bit of fruit
And no added sugar.
Really good advice.
And no added sugar. Lastly, we've got time just to mention sports drinks.
We don't, but yes, we do.
Sports drinks are specially formulated for athletes. If you're going to the gym 3 times a week, you don't need a sports drink. You only need a sports drink if you're running a marathon, you're doing a half Ironman, you're doing an endurance event. You know, sports drinks are fabulous. If it's a really hot day, you're a big sweater and you're exercising for more than about an hour and a half, then a sports drink can be really useful.
And certainly not for kids.
Not for kids, and you don't need to be drinking them as an energy pick-me-up in the afternoon.
Try and keep my kids
Good
away
advice.
from it.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Coming up, we are just minutes away from our